Brother Ed coming to you this evening once again from Louisville, Kentucky with American Stealth on the news you can use. It appears that New York Governor Cuomo has deployed the National Guard to New Rochelle, New York, to establish a containment quarantine center. 173 confirmed cases in New York, 108 of those in New Rochelle alone. 14 are now hospitalized in New York, likely all in New Rochelle, from coronavirus. 26 deaths currently in Washington state. Bernie Sanders has canceled at least one rally, while Trump cancels a trip to Moscow. Stocks take another nosedive. Ohio State University cancels classes due to the corona threat. It would appear, potentially, now that corona has entered D.C., we may actually see the hand of God himself cleaning up the swampy mess of American politics. We got a lot going on, folks. A lot. This illness has swept through the world very quickly. It's sweeping across the United States quite quickly. It's here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky and even in my own city, which means it's only a matter of time before a lot of people start falling ill from this here, as it's only a matter of time before a lot of people start falling ill from it everywhere. People everywhere are, but not as many as there could very well wind up being. However, we do need to take some things into consideration. First of all, if what's happening in New York is happening there, trust and believe it can and it might happen everywhere. We don't know yet, but if it happened there, then it can happen anywhere. And this, honestly, although they're not calling it martial law, that's what it is. I mean, you can't call it anything else. Once they call out the guard for any reason, I mean, they're likely going to start curfewing people. And although they say they're not restricting travel, I bet you if they're checking temperatures and looking at people when they're going to and fro to see if they look sick or what have you, I bet you that your travel is going to be restricted. And it might even, I think eventually it's going to go beyond that, honestly. It won't just be sick people or people that look sick. It's going to be everybody. Everywhere. I don't know what to tell you except you need to be prepared. Try and find an alternate route out of the community in which you live or out of your city. If you can find some, I don't know, I can't really say country road to travel or in the outskirts that leads to a country road, because I don't think that's going to work. Let's just put it this way. You do your thinking, because I don't want to give too much of what I've got planned, because I have a plan, if this happens here, for how to get to my bug out location, even if they don't want me to get there. I have a plan and a method, and I think it's foolproof. I think it is, but it won't be if I say what that plan is. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to suggest to you, however, that you look for an unexpected and remote type of route to get to where you need to go. Let's just put it that way. You just do your thinking on that. But again, this is something that very well could happen in every state and commonwealth in the Union. So prepare for it, because chances are it will eventually get to the point that they won't want you going even outside of your house. So if you have not got food, water, and what have you stocked up, you're going to be in bad shape. So get as much as you can while you can. And I'm telling you, don't be going to places that I'm telling you not to go. I've been to these places and I know what I'm talking about. You're not going to find large bags of rice, beans, or pretty much just a whole lot of things that are not perishable. You're not going to find in a large quantity. Now, as far as cereals, dried fruit, nuts, things like that, you still can get those, but they're kind of pricey at places like Costco and Walmart. It might be a little bit less expensive getting those at your local grocery store if you have something equivalent to a Kroger store or a Safeway or something like that, depending on what part of the country you live in. I would suggest that, compare the prices. You're going to need protein and you're going to need, excuse me, going to need nutrients. You're going to need vitamin C. And if you don't have yourself stocked on dried fruit, you might not be able to get your vitamin C. So I'm just telling you need to think things through and do the sensible thing. Because vitamin C and zinc, sounds to me like at this point, are probably pretty rare commodities right now. I don't know. I haven't really had the time to look for them. I've been working, been busy. I'm just saying, it was just about, maybe a week ago, I was hearing here in Louisville that the three number one shopped items in supplement sections and pharmacies were elderberry, zinc, and C. So if that's happening here, it might be happening all over the country. I don't know. I need you guys to clue me in on that, because I don't know about anywhere but here, as far as that's concerned. Just prepare for the worst and pray for the best. That's all that I can tell you. Because the worst may very well still, and I think it is, honestly. I really do believe the worst is yet to come. We may or may not see tens of thousands of deaths from this the first time around. We might not. We might see maybe a few hundred. I'm not sure. But if this behaves in any way at all like the swine flu pandemic of World War I, then we might possibly be able to predict its pattern. The pandemic of World War I did kill a good amount of people the first time it hit, but it didn't kill anywhere near as many the first time as it did when it mutated between the spring of 1918 and fall of 1918, and it came back at that point with a vengeance, and it was rapidly spreading everywhere as a mutated virus, and it was killing people by the tens of thousands. Actually, hundreds of thousands. It was hundreds of thousands. The estimate is 735,000. But as I've told you previously, New York stopped counting their dead after 33,000. Again, I have to ask, if they stopped counting after 33,000, how many other places, cities, what have you, stopped counting their dead after X number? Probably a lot of them, because they couldn't keep up. They just couldn't. There were too many people dying too fast. So I'm thinking, to be honest with you, this is just my own personal opinion, I don't believe it was only 735,000. That's just the ones that were recorded that they know about. I think it was likely upwards of around 1 million people here in the United States alone. I really do believe that. I don't know. None of us really knows for sure what the total number was, but it is likely that it very well could have been as high as 1 million people in this country alone. Now, with the population having been far less at that point than it is now, that was a really significant amount of deaths. Now, you take the population that we have now and you get something that virulent that spreads that quickly, that easily, with the kind of symptoms that these people were having, it was more closely resembled Ebola the second time around than it really did the flu of any kind. I mean, that's what can happen when a virus mutates. So, and I hope it doesn't happen that way, really, because if it does, a lot of people are going to die, because we know what's going to happen. If it's not as bad the first time around as a lot of people are expecting it to be, people are going to get complacent. They're going to say, oh, this wasn't anywhere near as bad as they said it could get, or that it would be, and they're going to stop prepping again, and they're going to be caught off guard all over again, because that's the way people are. They're stupid. Sorry, but most of the people in this country are just idiots. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. And I think most of the people listening to me know that most of them are idiots. Complacent, apathetic idiots who don't see anything past the end of this right here. If it's Friday, they're not looking at anything past the end of Sunday, or the first day of their work week, which they're dreading. That's it. At any rate, don't be one of those people that gets caught off guard and unprepared. Get as much medical supplies as you can while you can too. Don't forget to do that, because we don't know how long we could be quarantined under martial law. We just don't know. And chances are you won't be able to get to a doctor or a hospital, which is not a good idea to go anyway in a situation where so many people are sick from something that can kill you. What are hospitals and clinics full of? Sick people. That's not a place you want to go unless you are really, really bad sick. Otherwise, you might get really bad sick. So, hey, that's all I got for now. Until next time, which I'm not sure when that's going to be. I think I'm working 10 days straight again. At any rate, be at peace. Don't be scared. Just be prepared. Be in prayer. Don't stop praying. Trust in God. He'll have your back. In one way or the other, He'll have your back. Till next time, love ya.